I got a big story today that I'm gonna talk about that a lot of people don't discuss, and I know a lot of people might not like what I'm saying or anything, or might not understand. But this is not for this generation. This generation has already had their mindset on what they believe in. But the younger generation, they're gonna understand this because I can prove everything I'm saying, especially when it comes to the beef I'm explaining. And this is not trolling 50 Cent or anything. I think he's a very good businessman. But at the end of the day, everything he's doing is business. And he's strictly about his business. Everybody knows that. And you can't mix street with business. That's what the mistake he's making. And people don't understand, but he has been beefing and trolling Little Kim. You know what's crazy? Little Kim is a female and a black female as well. And people never question why he's trolled Little Kim over the years. But I will be explaining that right now. And because, usually when you see a male figure out here trolling a female, they'd be like, why is he doing that? Like when SZA was getting trolled by DJ Academics, a lot of celebrities came out, was like, why is he trolling SZA? But in Little Kim and 50 Cent situation, it seemed like everybody play their part usually. But I'm gonna explain why this beef is a lot deeper than people realize. Anybody who understands, they'll understand. Everybody who don't, you always been lost when it comes to certain things. That's why I gotta explain this now. I'm tired of seeing people who not really in the culture, who don't really know what's going on, who don't really know the history of American rap culture or even the street culture. So I'm here to teach y'all. So Little Kim, we all know that she's been in the rap game for years and years and years. She's been around Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. She's been around Diddy along with others. And she's never really had her name in any kind of mess over the years. And to be honest with you, she was never put on a pedestal like a lot of these rappers these days, especially female rappers. I can say now the female rappers now get a lot more attention and publicity than Lil' Kim has ever gotten in her career, even the Sexy Red. But when 50 Cent, if you got to remember, 50 Cent was at one time, he made a track with Little Kim. You got to understand that. So I just want everybody to know that Lil' Kim, she did a magic stick with 50 Cent. So she's not a person who holds grudges or walks around like, man, I can't believe he said that. She's not one of those females. Like, she really come from that. She really come from the streets. So she know the way she moves, everybody know this. If you're from Brooklyn, you already know. She moves a certain type of way. You don't really hear her name in a lot of mess. But one situation I will be pointing out is about why 50 Cent just doesn't like her as much over the years. And why he has personal reasons why he goes at her. This is all allegedly. Have to throw that out there. But everything I'm saying, you can look it up. It will be proven. It's trust me, you can look up everything I'm saying. This ain't no cap. But 50 Cent has been trolling her over the years. Like lately, did a little meme where he said she was a leprechaun, and then she was on stage doing her little moves. So what really started all this was Little Kim had a fiance named Damian World Hardy. And he's the guy who was known back in the day for starting a clique, helping be affiliated with a clique, Cash Money Brothers in New York. And, they was what they were. The name explains everything, Cash Money Brothers. And they was doing what they do, in the streets, making things shake. And she only dated street dudes mostly. She don't really date actors and like these guys. She don't date a Leonardo DiCaprio, and she's not like the rest of these females these days that date billionaires and all that kind of stuff. She's basically like, she's been in the street dudes most of her life, or guys that's been around her area that just happen to be around the streets. That's how most people get their money around that time. Especially people who have money. And right now, a lot of people don't know it, but she's always had some situations with 50 because most of it had nothing to do with her. It was her fiance who basically, if y'all can look this up, he had went on the radio back in the day and insinuated that 50 Cent and Ja Rule were fighting each other over a transgender. They was like, why is 50 Cent and Ja Rule going back and forth with each other? And he was like, it was over a transgender, a tranny. And this was before people was like really in tune with what a transgender was. They didn't really see this out in the open like that. It wasn't really common. And this is in New York. Because I know a lot of people say, well, in Atlanta, that's very common. In New York, it was very common at that time. And they actually had streetwalkers that was transgenders. But she said that was a situation. Well, he said that was a situation that basically happened from a transgender. Ja Rule and 50 Cent beef. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's not true. What I do know is, what I can prove is that 50 Cent had the grudge with Lil' Kim, or has a grudge with her because of what her fiance was doing around the time. Mind you, she went, and before the Magic Stick had came out, a lot of things had already happened in between Damian World and his clique and 50 Cent. And people don't know this, but 50 Cent was a stick-up kid. He was a guy who was robbing, and he was running around robbing people around this time. And a lot of people kind of overlooked this. They like, man, why everybody had a problem with 50 Cent around this time? Bruh, 50 Cent told y'all himself through his own movie. He put out Get Rich or Die Trying, and the man was robbing people 5 seconds into the movie. His first song that everybody heard was How to Rob. So for some reason, everybody just think that he was just robbing people. He running around. If you believe everything he's saying, he was a robber. He was a stick-up kid. He was robbing people. So if you wondering why everybody in the streets had a problem with him around that time, he was stealing stuff allegedly and robbing. So if somebody comes and robs you over and over, or robs your people over and over, what you think gonna happen in the streets? Duh. So that's one thing that kind of had him and Damian World situation clashing. And another one was Damian World had, the guy Hamo around he was affiliated with. And a lot of people saying, well, Supreme, he sent, I'm not gonna get into this because I'm not finna, but a lot of people say Supreme, he sent Hamo over there to do this to 50. Well, Ja Rule and Irv Gotti, they sent somebody over there to get at 50. See, first it was Ja Rule and Irv Gotti. Now it was Supreme. And then now people talking about, well, it was this other guy. And now they talking about, well, it was Damian World who sent somebody over there. Man, the reason why y'all even know about all that is because 50 been out here chit-chatting. We ain't hear that before 50 even got on the scene. Nobody even knew all that was going on. So he was out here, he been chit-chatting about it. He even put it in the song. He even put it in the song. He put Homo's whole name in the song. So when he put Homo's whole name in the song, everybody that was affiliated with Homo got locked up. Just from the affiliation. You got to understand, he had the biggest song in the world, biggest album in the world. And he on there talking about situations that had to do with this guy, which was way out of bounds. I know he talking about right now with Meech, the snitching with Meech and everything. Brother, you put a whole murder or attempted murder and a whole murder, attempted murder and a murder on a record, on a song, one of the biggest songs, the biggest album you had in your life. Get Rich or Die Trying, Mini Man. Y'all can go look at the lyrics. He put that all on the song. And people just look at that like, well, at least I know the news. Everybody else he said snitch. That's snitching. That's snitching because people is in jail behind some of that stuff. That is snitching. But Lil' Kim, she had her name slandered online. I mean, on the radio at a radio station with 50 Cent. He was talking about Lil' Kim taking shots at her and boom, 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 boom. So you know what Damian World did? He like, bro, ain't nobody finna be out here talking about my fiance like this. I don't know what he on. If he think I'm gonna be letting him talk about my fiance like that, he already know how I rock. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull up to the radio station And I'm gonna see what he talking about. So I don't know if it was a radio station or what, but he pulls up and he airs that thing out. I'm talking about he let it rain. He aired that thing out. He was out there airing it out. And a lot of people know that. A lot of people don't. And this is allegedly. But he pulled up and he was airing that thing out. He pulled up, he aired it out. Got into a shootout. I think it was at like a hotel or something that was nearby or whatever. They got into a shootout and everything. You know, situation. It was what it was. But that was behind the whole situation about him going to Lil' Kim. See, Lil' Kim ain't had nothing to do with that. 50 kind of dragged her into the whole situation by taking shots at her because of her fiance. Because he was affiliated with the people that 50 Cent was really dealing with. But at the time, Damian World pretty much felt like dudes was out here messing with his business, robbing people that was his workers or people that was in his camp. And then you go out here and you put all that records on wax. But that's why he was shooting at him as far as at the radio station and at the hotel. I think it was at a hotel. He shot him at. He was shooting at him at. They got into a shootout. But Lil' Kim ain't had nothing to do with that. So let me tell you what 50 Cent has in common with a lot of this. Big Meech ain't got nothing to do with Rick Ross and 50 Cent. Lil' Kim ain't had nothing to do with Damian World and 50 Cent. But guess what? 50 Cent always dragging somebody into a beef that's not in the beef. Period. Every time. Every time. Every time. No matter what. They are getting dragged into a beef no matter what. And it doesn't even make any sense. Especially when you look back and you look at things and you like, hold on. So Lil' Kim, she made Magic Stick with 50 Cent. And that was on Get Rich or Die Trying. And the reason why 50 had ended up getting her because Trina was the first option. She didn't work out. So he had to get a female rapper who was notable. So he got Lil' Kim for personal gain. If the beef was really serious like that, let me tell y'all something else too. That's why I'm saying the same thing he did with Meech. He doing with Meech. He did with Lil' Kim. Why would you do a song with Lil' Kim and you feel like her fiance and everybody else was getting at you trying to get you up out of here? Why would you do a song with her? You ain't did no song with 50 Cent. I mean with Rick Ross. So why would you do a song with her? Then after that, you blasted her on the radio and stuff. That's what got you end up getting him shot at or whatever. But why would you do a song with her though? If it's like that. You gotta think about it. So for him to even do that, that lets you know that he knows that he was in the wrong from the whole beginning. If it was really like that, you wouldn't even dealt with her as far as that. You wouldn't even. He performed the song with her a couple of times. Y'all can see pictures of that. If you want to look up 50 Cent and Lil' Kim right now. Matter of fact, and they did the song in 2003. The song was done in 2003. Probably done before that. Probably say 2002. But he put on the Magic Stick song. And if you put her on the song like that, then you really ain't had no problem with the whole situation like that. It wasn't really that deep. But it looks like it was that deep because after that, after Damian World got arrested and everything else locked up, he's still taking shots at Lil' Kim to this day. He's still taking shots at her. Won't stop. Even this generation of kids who wasn't even alive then, all they know Lil' Kim from is 50 Cent trolling her. That's it. That's all they know her as. 50 Cent trolling her. And it all comes from her fiance So you couldn't get at the fiance, so you get at the woman. How does that look? So if I have a problem with a man out here, I'm gonna attack his fiance after I done did business with her and reached out and put her on the song. That don't make any sense. But it does make sense. But people overlook that though. That's a whole beef that should have never even got started or never even happened. And he just involved her all in that. So she could have really been in harm's way a lot more than what actually happened just from what he was doing. He involved Lil' Kim into some street beef that wasn't really her beef and still involves her in that. That's why he always has a personal problem with her. Always. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else except that situation. The dude Damian World stayed taking shots at 50. He was in the streets. He was about that. And 50 wasn't trying to be about that with Damian. He wasn't even trying to do it. All he did was start going on songs, naming dudes that allegedly shot at him, that Damian World know and everything else. And oh, well, he affiliated with him. And then you got people like Tony Yayo right now on Vlad TV. Y'all can go look this up. He talking about Damian World. Well, 50 Cent wasn't scared of him. And I'm okay, he ain't got to be scared of him. And another thing too, Tony Yayo, how do you know how another man is scared or not scared? Bro, you ain't God. How you gonna know another man scared or not? Sound like he was scared because he bringing up Lil' Kim name 24/7. She not even affiliated with that situation. That sounds scary to me. So for him to go out here and actually be calling her out to this day, that lets you know that whatever Damian World was doing, it bothered him. It bothered him a lot. He knew Damian World wasn't about no games. He wasn't playing. He wasn't out here chit chatting. And then when 50 Cent name did come up, he didn't bring up no street beef. He didn't bring up no shootouts. He didn't bring up no homo. None of that stuff. So the person who did make that worldwide news is 50. So that's technically snitching. That ain't no technically, that's snitching. So he's been snitching for decades and getting away with it because he has this power conglomerate and everything, the numbers, and he get money and everything. See, money don't buy respect for me. You can have $1 billion. You can't buy my respect if you're doing dirt like everybody else. But for her to be in the middle of the mix the whole time and nothing was really her fault, she just played her part, then to show that she ain't really care about none of it or she ain't know nothing much about it, she did Magic Stick with him. A whole song that's like, you know, we know what kind of song Magic Stick is. So it ain't look like Lil' Kim had any kind of hard feelings toward 50 Cent or grudges or anything. She out here was just living, doing her music, minding her business. She had already had situations where she had to go to jail for not snitching. She went to jail for not snitching. Think about that. She went to jail for not snitching. So she more thorough than 50 Cent is. She went to jail for not snitching. I don't think people understand that. Didn't know nothing about what her fiance had going on. Because she ain't had nothing to tell on because she ain't know nothing. But the person who made the worldwide news, he gets all the credit and all the fame around it. Think about that. Lil' Kim more street than most of these dudes is out here. Especially when it comes to rappers. She more of a street rapper than most of these guys who've been street rappers the last 15, 20 years. That's a fact. Last 30 years. So he mad at a female because her fiance, who wasn't her fiance when y'all had all this going on, was beefing with you and shooting at you allegedly or whatever. Man, okay. That's weak to me. And I'm gonna continue to show y'all a lot of people out there who keep making up excuses for certain stuff, acting like dude is every time somebody do something, it's their fault and why everybody bothering him and leave him alone. Man, stop it, man. This is a grown man. This man 50 years old. He about to be 50, so you might as well say he's 50 years old. I'm not finna sit up here and say 100 people is wrong because one guy. So one guy sit up here and say 100 people wrong. So I'm gonna choose 100. I'm gonna say 100 people lying on one person. 100 people who don't really know each other like that. So all of them wrong. They got the same story. Actors, dude like Ghost, Big Meech, Lil Meech, who an actor. He ain't Lil Meech ain't in the streets. He an actor. Ghost, Amari Hardwick, he got a problem with him. Lil Kim, Floyd Mayweather, he ain't in the streets. So all these people, so we just gonna I can keep naming people for days. Dr. Dre, he had a situation with him, he had to leave. The Game, a lot of guys at G Unit, Young Buck, so all these guys just wrong. Stop it.